Hi, and welcome back to O'Fallon Life on Air. We're right here on the doorstep of the 2025 holiday season, and today we have Dana Degnan, a cultural arts specialist, to talk all things cultural arts coming this fall of 25 and winter, and of course, all things throughout the year. So we want to welcome you back, whether it's your first time viewing or your second or fourth. Make sure you go ahead and hit like and subscribe to make sure you get notified every time we drop a new podcast. So we'll go, Dana, thank you for being here. This is our first podcast to talk about the arts. So it's really exciting to have you here and promote some of the things we're going to go into. So,
yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Can you first off explain what is your role with the city as a cultural arts specialist, and then what is cultural arts for the city?
Yeah, so my role as the cultural arts specialist is to kind of own and facilitate everything cultural arts within the city. So cultural arts is kind of all spanning. It goes from visual art to performance to really just like learning. So I always usually like to start with talking about our art galleries. We have multiple art galleries here in the city. We have so many sculptures. If you walk through our parks, you'll see so many public sculptures in our parks. You will also see that we have our own community theater, OFallon Theater Works, that we'll definitely talk about later a bit too. But art is a really key focus here in O'Fallon, which was one of the things that really attracted me about working here.
All right, great. And all those things you mentioned between the galleries, the sculptures, and the theater works, things we're going to talk about today, hopefully. But how did you get here? Where'd you come from to, get a background in the arts to land here with the city?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm actually born and raised from Chicago, Illinois. Go Cubs. And that
might be a first here for
I know. Sorry,
podcast.
Everyone in O'Fallon.
That's all right.
But I went to Stevens College in Columbia, Missouri. My dad and I sat down and tried to figure out what the best theater schools in the country were, and Stevens was on that list. So I decided to go there. I loved it. I met somebody, so I ended up moving back to Missouri after I finished up grad school in Chicago, and I went to Northwestern University for grad school, and that's where I learned like arts, business, and management, and that's where I really dived more so into the behind the scenes of the arts rather than being on the stage. So from there, I was at the city of Chesterfield managing their amphitheater as well as all of their public art and art galleries. I also worked for a small independent school in Maryland Heights, being their theatrical producer. I've done a few other gigs here and there. I've worked with Chicago Shakespeare Theater. I have also worked with Caesars Entertainment in Las Vegas, Nevada. Wow. Yeah, that was a cool one.
You have quite the resume. It's spanned all across the country now.
Yeah, I really wanted to get get my feet wet in kind of all different kinds of art. So I got like the visual art at Chesterfield, but I've done commercial music at Caesars and with Chesterfield. And then I've also done theater with that small independent school, Chicago Shakespeare Theater. I was their company manager, which is basically like actor babysitter. So if someone is coming in from New York, I help them find an apartment for the 3 months that they're in Chicago. I help them with their grocery orders, or if they are having like aches and pains and need like an exercise ball to stretch, I order the exercise ball, things like that. So that got me really prepared to kind of manage a little community theater. And I'm really excited to watch OTW grow in the next few years because we have a lot of really cool plans.
Yeah, when we talk about O'Fallon Theater Works, you got all age ranges, kids to seniors. Yeah. So you're set. I mean, you're going to know how to manage every person that comes through that play there.
I'd like to think so. Yes.
You went from Chicago to Columbia for school, then back to Chicago for more school, Vegas. Mm-hmm. But you landed here in O'Fallon, the St. Louis area. So I'm going to go ahead and say it's because of the St. Louis Cardinals. Is that safe to say that's why? I mean,
maybe the Blues.
Okay, I'll take it. I'm a Blues
fan.
All right,
do love the Blues and do love the city.
All
city
right,
soccer.
Fair enough. All right. Throughout the whole year, we have the galleries, the Shape of Community, and the theater. What else does cultural arts manage?
We also manage the Fall into the Arts Festival. So we do a big fall arts festival every year. It's usually around September 19th, 20th, 21st kind of deal. And that we will have a bunch of artists. I think this past last year, we had 23 artists that were there just showing their art and offering it for sale. We'll also have demo artists there, like glass blowers or caricature artists, so people can watch art in motion. We will also have children's activities there, which are usually a huge hit, doing crafts and different things like that. But on top of that, we'll have other fun things. Like we had 2 bands that played at the last Fall Into the Arts Festival. Jenna helped out with that. And then Mariah Davis, also in festivals, helping us with the food trucks, our beverage trucks like beer and wine and things like that. And food trucks, the coffee truck, my favorite. So that is a really fun event that we host at O'Day Park, where we already have some of our permanent sculptures on display and some of our Shape of Community sculptures that are on rotation as well. Our newest park, it's a great venue for it.
Home of O'Day Lodge
yes.
and O'Day Amphitheater. So it's definitely a beautiful space out there.
Yeah, great wedding venues and things like that.
Yeah, great wedding venues. Group camping is available out there at that park.
Yeah, it's a beautiful park.
All right. And then we also have within the city, we have multiple boards and commissions, but one is the Cultural Arts Commission. Yeah. How do you manage and work with them?
Yeah, so we all kind of work together to make the big art decisions for the community. I bring forward what staff is thinking. I bring forward what the community is thinking, and then we have those discussions and kind of make decisions from there. The Creative Arts Council will help a lot, the Cultural Arts Council will help a lot when it comes to selecting our Shape of Community sculptures. They will actually help us vote on all of the ones that are submit through our call for art. Mm-hmm. That call for art is posted on Cafe, and it is currently live. You have until January 21st to apply for that call for art. And after we collect all of those pieces from our artists, we will then go through and we will vote on our top 10 pieces with 3 alternates, just in case any of those top 10 aren't available. Sure. And from there, we'll go ahead and offer artists space in our parks.
Okay. For listeners that may not be in the area right now, but are curious, what is Shape of Community? And what does that look like around town? Yeah,
Shape of Community is our rotating sculpture series that takes place for about 18 months. We will put out a call for art, which is basically like a job posting for artists that goes over all of the different criteria needed for the sculptures. And they submit photos, an artist statement, and they can submit, I believe, up to 3 different pieces for consideration for Shape of Community. From there, once we collect the jury, which is the Creative Art or the Cultural Arts Council, they will help with voting and then selecting. Okay. But it's a really cool, unique program that we have here in O'Fallon that helps just bring fresh air, fresh life into our parks with the sculptures.
Yeah, and you said it's open now.
Yes,
the call
it's open
is out
now.
There. And where is that at? If you're listening and you're an artist, where do you need to go to find that?
That's on Call for Entry or Cafe that is posted there. And if you look up Shape of Community 2026, you'll be able to find that call and apply.
And that's an online, there's a link for that.
Online
so we could
application.
Actually have that. We could drop that below here in the podcast if somebody wants is listening and is interested in learning more. We'll put that into the bottom here, so make sure you check that out when you're watching online. And throughout the Shape Community, how many pieces are around town at one time?
We will select 10 pieces. Okay. We'll have those 3 as backup just in case any of those 10 aren't available. But they'll be around all of our parks. So they could be at CarShield, they could be at Sports Park, they could be at Dames. Really just depends on where we decide to put them.
And they stay for about 18 months.
About 18 months. They should be installed by June 1st of 2026, all of them.
And at the end of the 18 months, we'll do this all again and get new art that rotates through. But some of these pieces do become permanent fixtures here in town. So tell us about that.
Yeah, we actually just purchased a sculpture from our past Shape of Community call that's called Learning Curve by Fred Napoli. And it was put down in South O'Fallon in the middle of a roundabout.
Okay.
And that's gotten a lot of really great reception from the community. And I know our council members have really loved having that sculpture on display. And our artist was just over the moon with its placement. He loved the lights that we have up on it for the evening. He sent me about 25 different pictures of it. It looks really great. So our parks guys did a great job on getting that installed and restored. and moving it from its original location within shape to that roundabout.
And they did do a beautiful job. If anybody's listening is interested, it's at Crusher and Weldon Spring at the brand new roundabout intersection there. And then one last thing before we jumped over, I just thought of this. There's an app, correct?
Yes.
That you can track and follow all of the communities.
I'm a little bit new to that app, but it is AutoCast, OTO cast, CAST. And that can be used to kind of give yourself like a self-guided tour around the city to see all of our different sculptures.
Right. Great.
So that'll get updated with all the new ones whenever we select our new Shape of Community sculptures.
Very cool. Next, you had mentioned art galleries.
Yeah.
Explain what they are, where they are, and how do you become involved in that?
Yeah. So we have 3 different art galleries here for the city of O'Fallon. The first one is at City Hall, just in our main lobby area downstairs on the first floor. Our next one is at the Ren Adams Center, all down that long hallway with all of the classrooms, as well as just in the open atrium area. And the last one is Krekel Civic Center, which is one of our wedding venues, dance venues, places like that. That's all down that hallway and in the lobby in there too. So we'll have 3 different artists usually on display in those galleries, and the galleries will change every 4 months. So at the end of December, I will take down what's currently on display and put up a whole new batch of artwork. Now that means I have to recruit 3 more artists. But it's really one of the most fun things about my job because it means I get to go online, go on Instagram, go on TikTok, and find the artists in our area. Okay. I do a lot of marketing and networking at FITA, the Fall into the Arts Festival, to find our next artists. I believe all of the artists for the next gallery should be coming from that festival. So I'm really excited to put them on display here in City Hall. We always get a lot of really great feedback from the community, but I also really just love hearing from my coworkers in City Hall and at Krekel and Ren Adams telling me, I love coming in every day and seeing this artwork. It's so great.
I will tell you, we're located as we sit right now in O'Fallon City Hall, and the one that's here right now is absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
I've not had a chance to see the other ones yet, but the ones that are here on the first floor of City Hall are great. The building's open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30. So I would encourage you to come in and check that out as well. So if you are a local artist or interested, how do they reach out to you?
They can definitely reach out to me via email, which we can drop here, whatever you need. They also can always call me if they would like to my desk phone. And that is kind of how I get the ball rolling. I haven't had to do a call for art before in the past with galleries, but depending on how popular they get, I'd be open to also potentially doing a call for art one day on that. But right now you can just email me if you're interested in displaying.
We'll put your contact info in the bottom here of the podcast and they can reach out to you.
Great.
One other thing you had mentioned, a big piece of cultural arts is O'Fallon Theater Works.
Yes.
It's been around for years, has grown from a couple plays a year to 4 plays a year. Tell us about O'Fallon Theater Works.
Yeah, so O'Fallon Theater Works, just like you said, it's our community theater here in O'Fallon. We do 4 shows a year. Usually we end up doing one holiday themed kind of show. Like right now we're doing the Best Christmas Pageant Ever, the musical. We may do a teen show over the summertime when they're out of school. That's usually going to be a musical. Teens love the musicals. And then we'll do 2 more shows on top of that. Could be plays, could be musicals. Kind of depends on what the directors and I think would be the best fit for that time of year. This year, we are wrapping up our season here in December, and then we will be a little quiet for a while. We will be on renovation until about mid-2026. I'm hoping we could potentially do a spring show next year.
All right.
But we're going to guarantee a fall show next year.
When you say renovation, what are we looking at?
We're looking at a complete overhaul of that space. So right now, that is a theater gymnasium conglomeration, I would say right now. And we're going to turn that into just a theater space. But right now, when you walk in, there's basketball hoops and a scoreboard and things like that are kind of pushed to the side so we can focus on the theater. But those renovations will come with a whole new stage extension. Basically, the stage you see right now where it ends, that's going to be the back end of where the stage will begin for the new one. So it'll be even bigger. The entirety base of the stage that you see right now will essentially turn into backstage space. We'll have 2 big dressing rooms. We'll have a green room space, a makeup and hair studio. We'll also have a built-in sound booth at the back of the theater. All new seating, all new furniture, all new flooring, carpet, lighting. We're also going to be putting in a comm system, a communication system. So the person who's up in the lighting booth can talk to the person that's off stage left and say, hey, your curtain looks weird, fix it, and things kind of like that. Or they have a weird pass along backstage with a prop. They can then talk to each other to communicate. So fun things like that. All new drapes, all new window coverings, all that fun stuff.
You are taking a community theater that is currently in an old gymnasium and turned it into a true theater.
Oh, yeah.
That has to be very exciting.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like a good accomplishment come next year when your first show.
I'm so excited.
All right, so we're talking about first shows next year, but this is the last show for, let's say, the old era of O'Fallon Theater Works. So this next musical that's coming up in December, 2 weekends of December, the 5th through 7th, and then 12th through the 14th, you can see here at City Hall. And with that, I guess, encourage people to buy tickets now.
Yeah.
If you ever want to see the last show in the old gym, right? I mean, otherwise you're going to miss out on,
it's the end of an era.
Right. Era's over. So get them now if you want to see it. Then you can be at the first show in the spring.
Oh, yeah.
Do we have a show in the spring yet? Or is that still under lock and key?
We have some ideas. I don't know if I'm totally allowed to say just yet.
No.
I don't know. I want Jenna on my back.
You just got to come back.
I am extremely excited for what we have coming for OTW in 2026. So we'll be quiet for a bit, but then you won't hear the end of us after that.
All right. And then after this, we have Ren Adams coming in to join this show here right after you. And she's the director of this play for O'Fallon Theater Works to talk more about what this play is, what the characters are, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So any last things you want to mention to our viewers about cultural arts as a whole before you have Ren come in?
I think I do want to say just keep an eye out for things going on with O'Fallon Theater Works in early 2026. We're going to still have some programming. It just might be a little different from what you've seen in the past without having our theater space. We will be having more art programming classes that will be put in the O'Fallon Life magazine that gets sent to everyone. We also will make sure to notify everybody about any new art exhibit openings and things like that. But until then, I hope you all can just enjoy the best Christmas pageant ever. It is fun. There'll be the best Christmas pageant ever, the musical. Lots of hijinks, lots of fun. There's 2 kinds of jam. It'll be a good time.
All right. Sounds great. Well, Dana, thank you for being here. It's been more than informative and very enthusiastic. I can't look forward to seeing what you do for cultural arts throughout the entire city of O'Fallon.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Thank you. And stay tuned. We'll be right back after this commercial break with Ren Adams, the director of the Best Christmas Pageant Ever, the musical. And stay tuned.
Looking to stay sharp, informed, and connected? Join us for senior seminars presented by the Senior Learning Institute. Each month, Certified Senior Advisor Ted Gottlieb leads lively, no-pressure discussions on the topics that matter most to older adults. From training your brain and healthy nutrition to estate planning and protecting your personal information online. It's free, fun, and filled with information you can trust. No sales pitch, just real answers. Join us every third Wednesday of the month from 10 to 11:30 a.m. at the O'Fallon Senior Center behind City Hall. Pre-register at o'fallonmo.gov/parks under Programs, Adult Activities, Senior Seminars, or just walk in. And if you miss a session, no worries. You can watch previous seminars anytime on the City of O'Fallon's YouTube channel.
Hi, and welcome back to O'Fallon Life on Air. We were joined now with Ren Adams, the director of the upcoming O'Fallon Theater Works play, The Best Christmas Pageant Ever, the musical. Right before this, we heard from Dana, who's in charge of all cultural arts. And one of the things she talked about was that this play was featured last week. A little snippet of it was featured last week at the annual tree lighting ceremony that was held here at City Hall. So we actually have a video of that, so we're going to go to that now. So that looks enjoyable, and that was just one piece of it. So we're hoping to hear more about the entire thing from Ren Adams. So, Ren, you are the director of this, The Best Christmas Pageant Ever, the musical.
Yes.
Tell us about this play and what it's about.
Okay, it is a super cute story. I grew up with it. My mom would read it to us when we were kids around the holidays. And then I was actually cast in the play version in high school, my very last high school performance. I played one of the old church ladies in it and had an absolute blast. And then over 20 years later, when I stepped back into acting, I actually played one of the old church ladies again. And both of my kids were in the show as well. So it really does kind of have a special place in my heart. And it's just a really cute little story about how the worst kids in town end up taking over all of the roles in the annual church Christmas pageant, and really kind of helps the rest of the town discover the true meaning of Christmas. And it's really cute.
So for you personally, you've really gone from on stage, now behind stage, and directing this entire.
I do a little bit of everything.
How has that been? I mean, as a theater, goer and somebody that really enjoys going to the theater like I do, what is that? I've never done the acting or the directing. So how do you make that transition? And
I mean, I've kind of done a little bit of everything. I'm primarily a director. So I work at a local middle school, Francis Howe Middle School, where I've been the director. This is my 5th year now. I've been teaching 17 years. No matter where I go, I end up helping out the theater program, if it's doing makeup or helping with set design, whatever they need. Just, again, I love theater. So like I said, it was a 20-year hiatus before I've taken on a couple little acting roles here and there, just because it is a huge passion of mine.
All right. So this one, the plot is these are the hijinks children.
Yes, the Herdmans.
The Herdmans. And the kids are rambunctious is what it sounds like.
Yes.
And they have to be reined in, and that's what the whole musical is kind of.
It's really them being themselves that makes the message of, what Christmas really is, because they are impoverished and they kind of understand, I think, Mary and Joseph's story better than the rest of these kids do, and kind of brings it more to life.
I'm unfamiliar with the story. What is the setting of the time frame?
So it's the 1960s in like a little town. I don't even think it has a name in the
Any
play.
town, USA?
Just the perfect town. Yep.
All right.
So, and a little church pageant.
Sounds good. And how did you become involved in, you said you had a background from your youth in high school and working at a school now, but how did you become involved in O'Fallon Theater Works?
So my husband works for the city. He heard about this. They knew I was a director. They asked to pass on the information to me. I thought it sounded like a fun opportunity. And so I applied, and here I am.
And who knew? This is one that you have a lot of history with. It wasn't like
they did let me kind of help choose the show, and this is one that I'm very familiar with and thought would be a good start.
Didn't need to read the script or anything. You knew it.
I knew it. I didn't know the musical version very well. So this has been new.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then, so you've been involved your entire life. And then what if somebody has been involved around O'Fallon or they really haven't, but how would they become involved in local community theater?
I think we're extremely lucky in St. Charles County and O'Fallon that we have excellent community theaters. To audition with O'Fallon Theater Works, you can keep an eye on their website, the Facebook page. They post information there, as well as we're always looking for volunteers to come in and help with painting and set building. Like if you have a talent, theater puts it to use, that's for sure.
Okay. And then we mentioned this is a community theater. So tell us more about community theater as a whole, not just O'Fallon, but just what does that mean to a community and why is it so important for cultural arts?
I think it's just bringing the community together to tell a story and bring joy to our community. And this is definitely a story that does that. One thing that's been really fun coming from exclusively middle school is that my cast, my youngest actress is 4. She plays a baby angel and she is adorable. And then, we cast all the way up to, I don't know how old my oldest members are, but like well into adulthood. So we have every age range and everybody coming together to produce something and bring joy.
And I would imagine you have some veterans, people who have done this before. And do you have people that have this is their first
brand
time?
New, never stepped
All
foot
right.
on a stage before, to people who have pretty extensive resumes.
So I'm assuming your message would be, no matter if you've done it before or not, take a chance.
Oh, for sure. Theater is so much fun. And it really is, I think, the greatest community out there.
So we always, you envision the actors, right? The ones in costume, but there's so much more that goes into
For sure.
Any kind of theater works, any plays or events. So you don't have to be front and center.
No.
If you want to test the water, you would have a job for that person.
Definitely.
That's the message out here.
Definitely.
Get involved and try it. Mm-hmm. Okay. How did you assemble this cast?
We put out the audition information, and then we held auditions here at City Hall, and everybody came in, and we had a small casting committee. It was myself, my music director, David Gill, and then my husband was going to be my assistant stage manager, so the 3 of us were casting the show. It's hard, man. I don't cast at school anymore because my own children are in my shows. So I haven't stepped foot in that arena in a little bit, but it was very, very, very tough decisions. We are cursed with a lot of talent around here.
So the hard part is
trying to figure out like dynamics amongst characters and who we think is going to portray certain things and who can sing the part. And there's a lot of little pieces that go into it.
All right.
Yep.
Do you ever have issues with filling a role at all?
We did. For some reason, it's hard to get boys and men into theater. So we did have one man audition. He wasn't able to pull it off. So my husband, who was the assistant stage manager, is now playing the dad in the play. So
all right. You've heard it here first.
Yeah, so. It is definitely a family event. My daughter is also playing, her name is Alice. She's playing a character named Alice. And yeah. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of families because we do have this big age range, a lot of parents and children and an adult cast members, moms helping with costumes, and it's very family oriented. So
the play, the best Christmas pageant ever, the musical.
Yes.
It plays for 2 weekends in December 5th through 7th, Friday through Saturday or Sunday, and then the 12th through the 14th, same thing. And so when we envision those dates, like on the poster, right? Like you're thinking, okay, it's 6 days, or total of 6 days that you would be together. You're doing all this, but how long have you guys been working at production to get this thing going?
We cast a couple months ago. I can't remember the exact dates, but we've been rehearsing now for about 8 weeks.
Okay,
yeah, putting it all together.
So my point is, like, you can really spend time with loved ones and friends and family, not just in the days that you're on stage, but all the prep work and the fun that comes with the production behind the scenes.
Very much so.
All right. What's your favorite part of this play?
Oh, my goodness. I think it's the characters. And these kids in particular are just so charming and funny. And I'm really excited for people to get to see what they've been doing all this time.
Okay. And on the dates, about the dates, the 5th through the 7th and the 12th through the 14th, we also have a Dine and Discover date. Tell us more about what that is.
So my understanding is that you come in, there's like a dinner beforehand. You'll get to learn a little bit more about the show, and then you'll get to come upstairs and watch it take place in the theater.
And during the dinner, I believe some of the characters are available to
Yes.
a meet and greet,
Yeah,
autographs.
meet and greet, autographs, yeah.
Really
Maybe
learn.
an appearance by Santa Claus.
Oh, wow. All right. So if the weather's good, I guess you
Yeah,
can get
if
here
you
from
can
the
get
north.
here.
Yeah,
I know it's this really
obviously.
busy season.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So one last thing is, we talk about, you mentioned how important this is to all communities, what O'Fallon Theater Works means to the O'Fallon community after all these years. And Dana did mention that there's going to be a little bit of a shutdown for O'Fallon Theater Works come at the end of this play because of renovations to the theater itself. And one thing I think when in St. Louis area, when we think of, shows and Broadway play kind of things, we think of the Fox down on Grand, but that's not the case. I mean, you can go there, but you can get great quality entertainment right in your own backyard. And for O'Fallon, it's O'Fallon Theater Works.
100%.
Where else would you be able to find?
I mean, I
things like
strongly
this?
recommend going to see local school shows. Like all of our local high schools are always doing great work, support the arts, go out and see our local kids putting on some exceptional theater. St. Charles Community College and Young People's Theater is also a fantastic program my kids have been involved in and we've been involved in for several years. So there's some really good resources out there.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I know the sneak peek we saw last week at the tree lighting was phenomenal. So I think this whole thing is going to be great. Any last things you want to tell our viewers or listeners about this play or about O'Fallon Theater Works in general?
No, Fallon's been a very welcoming, really fun thing to get involved with. I've really enjoyed working with all these amazing people, and we hope you all come out and see the work that we've done.
Perfect. And speaking of coming out, you can go to OFallonMO.gov/OTW right now to get your tickets for any of these dates ahead of time. So you can definitely come out and enjoy that. So Ren, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, of course.
It's been very informative. You and Dana both bring a lot of enthusiasm to the cultural arts and to the plays. So I want to thank all of you, all of our listeners and viewers. I want to thank Dana and Ren both for being here to talk about all these things that O'Fallon is doing in the cultural arts. And to our viewers, if this is your first or fourth time watching us, we want to make sure you hit like or subscribe so you can make sure you get that notification when the next podcast drops. Until then, thank you. The Best Christmas Pageant Ever, the musical, will be coming soon to the O'Fallon Theater Works stage. See what happens when the worst kids in town decide to join in the annual Christmas pageant. Get your tickets for opening night or any of the other performances by going to OFallonMO.gov/OTW. You don't want to miss this hilarious show with fun for all ages. Saturday, December 6th is the date for the next electronics and appliance recycling event. If it has a cord or takes batteries, this is the place to bring it to be properly disposed of. From 8 a.m. until noon at O'Fallon's CarShield Field, you can drop off your old computers, cell phones, printers, and appliances. For a complete list of what items are being accepted, please visit the Environmental Services page on our website. The O'Fallon Police Department is inviting you to join them on Saturday, December 6th for Cocoa with a Cop. This is an opportunity to visit with some of our amazing first responders, ask questions, and share in some holiday cheer. There will even be an appearance from Officer Claus. It all happens at the McDonald's at Highway K and Interstate 70. On Sunday, December 7th, you are invited to join the O'Fallon Veterans Commission for our community's Pearl Harbor Day ceremony. This service begins at 1 p.m. at Krekel Civic Center. Through moving events of the day by keynote speakers, this ceremony honors and remembers the 2,403 service members and civilians who were killed during the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941. We hope to see you at some of these events and also back here for the next episode of O'Fallon Life on Air. Thanks for tuning in.